Hi, welcome back to the Painter Studio. I'm Nick Fox. The first challenge of painting water, setting your horizon line. When you're painting water, you have to think about where you're going to put your horizon line. Are you looking up at the sky? Are you looking out at the horizon? Or are you looking down into the water? And when you're selecting your horizon line, you need to know about the rule of thirds. The rule of thirds says that humans like images divided up into thirds, with major compositional elements occurring along those lines. And while it's called a rule, it's more of an observation. You do not have to align anything with anything. Your art is your art. But when you're setting a horizon line relating to water, it's good to know what artists have done for millennia and why. So here's what the rule of thirds looks like. These lines divide a two-dimensional plane into 9 equal rectangles. Where these lines cross are so-called power points, where again, supposedly, the human eye likes to find objects of interest. Many artists choose to set their horizon at or near either the 1/3 line or the 2/3 line. A random sampling of paintings I know shows me that this rule or observation holds true. I've selected a number of paintings at random from museums I've been to recently. The first is one of the most famous American marine paintings of all time, Breezing Up by Winslow Homer. This painting is really about the people sailing the boat. The horizon line is below all of them. The water isn't that important. Even the title tells us that it's about the wind. Homer chose a 1/3 horizon line. The next is a Jacob van Ruysdael from Holland's Golden Age. Here, Van Ruysdael has chosen a 1/3 horizon. We can see the choppy water, but again, the water is less important than the wind and what looks like a storm coming in. For Dutch merchants, depending on the weather, a threatening sky would have been all important. Next, we have John Frederick Kensett's Beacon Rock, which is still there in Newport, Rhode Island. It looks a lot smaller in person. In this painting, while the water is important, it's not what the painting is about. Again, the title gives us a clue. It's Beacon Rock. The next painting is by the infamous J.M.W. Turner. Watch the movie Mr. Turner if you haven't seen it. It's a painting of Venice. And while Venice is a city on the water, this painting is very much about the city and not the water. And on to the next, we have Fitzhenry Lane's Boston Harbor. This painting is a glorified portrait of commerce and a peaceful young America trading all over the world. Yes, it's a marine painting, but the water isn't what it's about. Lane puts his water well below the dramatic points of interest and the beautiful sunset. We've seen a lot of 1/3 horizon lines. What about those 2/3 horizon paintings? Well, they're less plentiful, but they're out there. Again, first up, we have Winslow Homer, this time with his brilliant fog warning. If you haven't seen this painting, go to the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston as soon as you can and take a look. It's sheer genius. Here, Homer has put his horizon line high at 2/3. The water is rough and it's really threatening this guy and his giant fish as he tries to get his little dory to safety before the fog rolls in. While the painting is titled Fog Warning, we are seeing a man in danger from and completely surrounded by water. Next up, we have Charles A. Platt's The Quay at Larmore. This painting is at the fabulous Clark Art Institute in Williamstown, Massachusetts. Here, there is no threat from the water, just an amazing light effect. The sky near Lorient is slightly overcast, but he's more interested in the play of light on the water's smooth surface in the late afternoon. We'll be talking about point of view in the next video, but here he's well above the water looking down on the fishermen. They and their boats are entirely below the horizon, dwarfed by the vast bay beyond. These men and their world is entirely set in water. And here's Watson and the Shark by John Singleton Copley. Again, the title tells us what it's about. The horizon is set high so we can look down into the water and see the danger young Watson is in. Swimming in the harbor in Havana is dangerous, I guess. The small boat is also in peril as they're surrounded by sharks. The water is a very important element in this painting, and Copley wanted us to know where to look. And surely the heroism of the rescuers, black and white, is being given great importance in the picture with just 2 men breaking the horizon line. We've seen 5 1/3 horizon lines and 3 2/3 horizon lines. My gut tells me that there are many more 1/3 horizon line paintings out there than 2/3, but I'm not sure. If someone at an AI company wants to run a visual analysis of all the paintings online, it would be of great interest. Of course, there are tons of exceptions to the rule of thirds in setting one's horizon. A common choice, though frowned upon by judges selecting paintings for exhibition, is to put the horizon across the middle of the painting. This is a risky choice for a beginning artist, but in the hands of a master, it is not only justifiable, it can be brilliant. Let's look at Emanuel Leutze's Washington crossing the Delaware. Leutze chose to put his horizon right across the middle of the painting. That's a big no-no, but George Washington's head is above that. I believe Leutze chose a middle horizon line because he wanted to highlight Washington and de-emphasize all the other characters. Remember, this work is over 20 feet across. By putting everyone else below the horizon, they are diminished in importance and at risk from the water. The middle horizon also conveys calm and order, something Leutze wanted to get across, even though the crossing of a massive river at night with crushing drift ice in a flat-bottom raft must have been hair-raising. The painter wants us to see Washington's calm resolve in the face of dire circumstances. His choice of horizon was no accident. Many Dutch artists used a very low horizon line at 1/6 or even 1/8. I think they might have done this to include as much sky as possible in their works. Dutch houses of the time were very dark, with small windows, often made with yellow or brown glass. Having a painting full of sky might have been really desirable. I took this picture in the Scheepvaartsmuseum in Amsterdam, Holland's National Maritime Museum. I highly recommend a visit there, but only after you've been to the Rijksmuseum. Now this painting by Paul Signac, one of the founders of pointillism, features a centered horizon line. It's a lazy, beautiful day on the Seine. The middle horizon line conveys a sense of louche calm. We are neither in the water nor ignoring it. The painting is balanced, except for the tree providing us cool shade as we appreciate the day. And then we have Mary Cassatt's The Boating Party. Just a reminder, the National Gallery in Washington, where this painting is on display, is 100% free to visit. If you find yourself anywhere near DC, take a few hours to enjoy the stunning array of art gifted to the American people by the gallery's benefactors and collectors. If you're American, you own this painting. In The Boating Party, Cassatt is giving us a portrait of what looks like a family out for a jaunt in their boat on a nice day. There is drama, the ambivalent gaze of the mother, the squirming toddler, and the straining father paint a delightful, if encompassed, family entity. And Cassatt has encompassed them entirely below the horizon line. They are held by the water, no one can leave the boat, and they can't leave each other. Had she set the horizon lower, we could ask where are they coming from or going to. But with them almost fully encompassed, they simply are in their boat, in the water. So what does it mean to choose a low horizon line versus a high horizon line? The short and unhelpful answer is that you can make it mean whatever you want. Every painting should have a point you are trying to make. This point can be as ephemeral as an afternoon light effect, like in Charles Platt's painting, or as heavy as a bunch of guys trying to rescue a 14-year-old being eaten by a shark. But there are some aspects that might affect your choice of horizon line. Generally, if you're putting your subject above the horizon, it has some freedom from the water. It is autonomous. It's powerful. If you're putting your subject below the horizon, it's encompassed by the water. The water has power over it. They may be floating, but the water is its element. I hope you do this, but I know when you're just starting out that it seems like too much work for just one painting. But do thumbnail sketches of your paintings with different horizon lines. You might be surprised at what jumps out at you. Join me next time as we dive into the next challenge, setting your point of view. Thanks and have a great day.